All right. Ready to dive into some early math education.
Let's do it.
This should be fun. It's not always the most exciting topic.
Right?
But we've got this workbook, plus 5 Friends with Who.
Oh, by learning with Lynette?
That's the one.
I've heard good things.
And it's all about teaching kids about the number 5.
Which sounds basic.
It is.
Yes.
But that's kind of the point, right? It's like getting them that foundation.
Exactly.
And this workbook uses all these creative activities.
Really hands-on stuff.
Exactly. To make it fun.
I think that's so important with math, especially for younger kids.
Me too. Because it's easy for it to feel really abstract.
Absolutely.
But when you can, like, actually touch and see it.
It makes such a difference.
Huge difference.
So what kind of activities are we talking about?
Well, there's this one called Making a Friend's Bracelet.
Okay, I like that already.
Right. It's cute.
Yeah.
So kids get these beads, 5 different colors.
Oh, fun.
And they string them onto a pipe cleaner.
Or even just yarn would work.
Totally. And they make a bracelet.
Representing the number 5.
Exactly.
So simple.
But so smart.
Yeah.
Because they're not just making a bracelet. The instructions actually have them make a few different ones.
Oh, interesting.
Using different combinations of beads.
So like 2 of one color, 3 of another.
Exactly. And that's where they start to get that idea of 5 being made up of smaller numbers.
Without even realizing they're doing math.
Right. They're just having fun with beads.
Sneaky learning. I love it.
It's brilliant. And it just lays that foundation for addition, you know?
Yeah.
Later on. It all builds on itself.
And there's this adorable owl character.
Oh, cute.
Who guides them through a lot of the activities.
Like a mascot.
Yeah. So there's one called Who with number lines.
Okay, number lines are great.
They are. And this activity shows different ways to make 5.
On the number line.
Yeah. So they see 1 hop plus 4 hops equals 5 hops.
Or 2 plus 3.
Yeah. And they actually get to hop along the line.
No way! That's so fun. I know. They're getting their energy out and learning.
A win-win.
Right. And speaking of fun, there's this one called Make 5 Cats.
Okay, now you've got my attention. I love cats.
You doesn't. So this one uses a bracelet.
Okay.
With 5 little cat pictures on it.
Adorable.
And they move a certain number of cats down to the bottom of the bracelet. And then they have to figure out what number is needed to make 5.
So if they move 2 cats down, they know it's 2 plus something equals 5.
Exactly.
That's clever.
Right. And as they move more cats, they're actually seeing subtraction too.
Like the cats are going away.
Yeah. And then it gets even more interesting with the cats in a tree activity.
Even more cats. Awesome.
This one builds on the bracelet idea, but they have a tree with 5 cats in it.
I love it.
And they color the cats using 2 different colors.
So maybe 3 blue and 2 red.
Yeah, or any combination.
And then they have to figure out, based on their colors, the different ways to make 5.
So they might see 3 plus 2 equals 5.
Wow.
It's another layer of that combination concept.
I see. So they're getting it in a bunch of different ways.
Exactly. There's even an activity where they cut and paste cats to complete equations.
This is so creative.
I know. It's all about making it hands-on.
Which is so important, especially when they're little.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we lose sight of that as kids get older.
Yeah, it's all worksheets and memorization.
But sometimes going back to those basic, concrete examples
Can be so helpful.
even for adults.
Totally. So, are you starting to see why I was excited about this workbook?
Definitely. It's taking those basic math concepts and making them come alive.
Right.
And that's when kids really learn, when they're having fun.
That's the key. Fun equals learning,
And it helps them develop a good attitude towards math, too.
which can make a big difference in how they do in school.
Absolutely. So we've talked about bracelets, we've talked about cats.
Lots of cats.
But this workbook goes beyond just those visual and tactile activities, right?
It does. It also includes word problems
Ooh, interesting.
to help them apply what they've learned,
And it introduces number bonds.
which is a whole other way to visualize how numbers work together.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive into those after a quick break, shall we?
Sounds good to me. Okay, so we're back.
Back to the number 5.
And all the creative ways this workbook teaches kids about it.
I feel like I'm learning too.
Me too.
Honestly. Good reminder.
Right. So we were talking about word problems and number bonds.
Those are really important.
They are, because they take that idea 5 and make it real.
More than just beads on a string, you know?
Exactly. Like they give examples with cats on branches.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
5 branches.
Yeah.
3 cats. How many branches are empty?
Or the chips. 5 chips and 1 gets eaten.
So you have 4 left.
Ah, right. It's stuff kids can actually relate to.
It's not just abstract numbers anymore.
And then those number bonds, they're really cool.
Yeah. Explain those a bit more.
Okay, so imagine like a little diagram. with a 5 at the top,
Okay.
and then 2 circles underneath connected to the 5.
Like branches.
Yeah, kind of. And in those circles, you can put different numbers that add up to 5.
So like 2 and 3.
Exactly. Or
We'll
1 and
see.
4, or even 0 and 5.
Showing all the different ways to make 5.
And they have activities where kids fill in the missing numbers.
So they might have the 5 and the 2, and they have to figure out what goes in the other circle.
Exactly. It's helping them see how numbers are related to each other.
Not just isolated things you memorize.
Right. It's all connected.
I'm thinking about this from like a teaching perspective.
Yeah.
This workbook is so much more engaging than just flashcards.
Oh my gosh, yes. Flashcards are so boring.
And they don't really show you the why, you know?
It's just rote memorization.
But with this, kids are actually building an understanding.
They're creating things, they're moving things around.
And having fun while they do it.
Which is huge. Learning should be fun.
Totally. And, you know, I was thinking,
Yeah.
even adults who struggle with math,
Yeah,
this could be really helpful for them too,
I think so too.
because it breaks everything down
Into those simple concepts.
and uses those hands-on activities to really make it click.
Sometimes we overcomplicate things. Yeah.
Sure. And this workbook reminds us that it doesn't have to be that way.
So what else is in this workbook? We've got bracelets, cats, number bonds.
It's jam-packed. There are activities with dice, even an abacus.
Whoa, an abacus.
Yeah. There's one called Roll the Dice for some number bond fun.
Okay, what's that one like?
So they roll 2 dice, add up the numbers.
And then they fill in the number bond.
Exactly. So if they roll a 3 and a 2.
They see 3 plus 2 equals 5, and they put those numbers in the circles.
So they're practicing addition and seeing those number bonds in action.
Hands-on math, I love it.
And then they have activities using an abacus to show different ways to make 5.
Okay, that's a little more advanced.
It is, but the abacus makes it visual.
So they can see how the beads represent the numbers.
It's like a bridge between the concrete and the abstract.
And get this, the workbook even has QR codes.
No way!
Yeah, they link to videos showing how to do the activities.
That's so cool.
So if a parent or teacher isn't sure about something,
They can just scan the code and watch a video.
it's like having a built-in tutor.
Makes it super user-friendly.
And it's not just worksheets and drills.
No, they have fun stuff too, right?
Yes, there are mazes, color by numbers, even tic-tac-toe.
But all centered around making 5-5.
So sneaky.
Right. They're learning without even realizing it.
Which is the best kind of learning, in my opinion.
I agree. So this workbook really does have a little something for everyone.
It does. It's got the hands-on stuff, the visual aids, the games.
And it all comes together to make learning about 5 fun and engaging.
I think it's fantastic.
Me too. And you know what else struck me about this workbook?
What's that?
It's not just teaching kids about the number 5, it's teaching them how to learn.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's encouraging them to explore, experiment, make mistakes.
It's building that growth mindset.
Exactly. Where they believe they can figure things out.
It's not about memorizing the right answer.
It's about the process, the exploration.
And that's a valuable skill for anything in life, not just math.
So true. And that kind of goes beyond math, right?
It does. It's like those skills, that way of thinking, you can apply it to anything.
Learning how to learn. That's a superpower.
Totally. And this workbook, it makes me think, like,
Yeah.
it's not just for kids, you know?
I was just thinking that.
Like anyone who's ever felt intimidated by math.
Or just like wants a refresher.
This could be a fun way to approach it.
It takes the pressure off.
Makes it playful.
And when you're relaxed, you learn better.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into +5 Friends with Who.
A great deep dive.
It was. I have a question for you and for all our listeners.
Okay, hit me.
How could you take these ideas, these activities, and use them to teach other math concepts?
Ooh, I like that.
Like, what about a making friends of 7 bracelet?
7 beads, different colors.
Exactly. Or a game where kids have to sort things into groups to make 10.
Oh, that's a good one.
You could use anything. Blocks, buttons.
Even candy.
Right. Make it fun.
Because when it's fun, they don't even realize they're learning.
And that's the magic of it.
So to all our listeners out there, if you're looking for a new way to teach math,
Especially to little ones.
check out this workbook, plus 5 Friends with Who.
It's packed with great ideas.
And who knows, you might even rediscover the fun of math yourself.
It's contagious.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep those learning spirits bright.